I played over 25 hours of Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN. Played a whole buttload of it, reviewed it, didn't get to beat it, because get good. And we'll talk all about it here in a second, so get your questions queued up. Anybody in the YouTube chat or anybody in the Twitch chat, get some questions queued up for me. And remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. Set a reminder so you don't forget. But first, I'm going to watch the trailer that dropped yesterday that I lied to people and said that I had watched. Because I couldn't fake it any longer. I couldn't keep... I felt bad lying to you all. I couldn't keep doing the, whoa, I haven't... Whoa, what a... Oh, what a cool thing I've never seen before. I saw all of it. I was knee deep in the NIGHTREIGN. So let's watch this trailer. Real quick, chat. Get your questions, comments, and concerns queued up for me. Be a little cutie and get them queued up. This is the one that, again, dropped yesterday.
The Nightfarers. The will to cross the endless night and fight on. Till every shred of their being is ground away.
This is fucking fire already. I don't know what this is. It's got to be a shifting land thing. I have no idea what this is. Just the baddest. Like, oh man. Just the baddest. Oh! Whoa! I have this at work today. I meant to bring it home for y'all. I'm gonna bring it home and steal it. I got this sucker. The Wilder statue. Can you imagine, chat, if we all put our money together and funded a brand new CG intro for the intro to the Elden Ring game? So it isn't just concept art scrolling by. Can you imagine if we funded like this level of animation? Can you imagine the foul dung eater? Like that sort of shit. It would be so great. It would be so great. All right, queue up all your comments, questions, and concerns for me. Have you seen the Revenant reveal trailer? If you're talking about the Evanescence one today, then yes, I did. Damn, that looks real good. That looks real darn good. Let me scroll up and let me look for some questions. I see one from Said Nuggies who says, did or do you have any desire to go through all the bosses with multiple characters? Thanks, I'll hang up and listen. Do I have any desire to go through all the bosses with multiple characters? I think just the nature of the way the game is played and the nature of having different friend groups is that, you know, similar to me having, when I have Elden Ring on multiple consoles and me going, oh, you need help with that? Fuck yeah, let me hop in, I'm down. So I think just, it's nothing that I'm gonna try to seek out, you know, purposely, but there will be, you won't be necessarily maining any one character. I think you're going to be switching around between 2 to 4. Justin Richard in the YouTube chat asks, main. Who was your main? My mains were... I do have screenshots. Let me double check the embargo to see if I can, what can be shown. I know people have been leaking a bunch of shit already. I would never do that. I would never ever break embargo. You know that, Chan. You know that about me. Okay, any live streams, let's play content, lore, deep dives, game guides under embargo until after launch. Any coverage, including reviews, other written content, blah 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 blah. Subida ba ba beep boop boo da bow. I mean, they got a press kit, which I should probably just check out the press kit. But my mains were refresh. F5. Yeah, they work fast, but I work faster. You know that. You're damn right. You're damn right. All right, let me see. One sec. Let me just enter in that sucker. I think it's because I was trying to use the little drawing thing. What up, Tom Chalky? One sec. And I'll also bring up my old VOD. How about that? Bring up this VOD. Let me go to like character selection if that's a thing. Okay, yeah, here we go. So my main men and ladies, as we bring up the screen right here. I enjoyed the Wilder. I didn't play any of the Guardian. I played Duchess quite a bit. Did not play Recluse. And down here we got freaking Guardian. He's got like a bunch of horns. He's a horn scent probably. He's a big fella. Who else we got? We got Revenant. She's a mean girl. She's kind of rude. You walked up to her and she's like, "I'm not here to make friends. If you're down to kill shit, I'm down. But like, I'm not. You know, other than that, don't fuck. I don't fuck with you. You know." We got Iron Eye with the little feathers, and then we got the Executor. that's his mouth, and that's like the little ponytail thing. And this guy's mad. He's angry. So for me, I used Wilder, I used Duchess, I used Raider a lot. I started using Revenant quite a bit as well. And I used Executor a handful of times. Didn't try out Iron Eye. Iron Eye was the main. Iron Eye was like, you got to use him if you want the best chance of success. But whenever I would play, we always had a freaking Iron Eye in our squad. So I was like, all right, I don't really got to fill out that role. So those are my mains. Dex, Faith, Parry. Well, there's none of that shit. I mean, the only reason I stream is so I could draw. And that shit doesn't even work right now. It's the only reason I stream. Like, what else do you want from me, dude? You don't got to worry about classes, because the classes they're all just like kind of those small optional things that will help you in the long run if you end up getting the different colorful gems. That maybe if you're the Raider class, obviously you're a big strength dude, so that colorful gem, that red gem, may have 3 strength, plus 3 strength. Or if you're the Duchess, that thing may have plus 2 arcane. You're like, oh shit, I like using the daggers that add bleed or whatever. So there's a lot of different relic rights and gems that you can have a lot of fun with, but they start off really shitty. I'll say that. I will say that the relic rights start off like really bad and not good. Yeah, like to the point where you're like, these are so useless. I'm not having fun with this. These relic rights that I've been picking up are no fun right now. I'm gonna actually, I got some screenshots that I can open up and not show you all, but I can read you some examples of some of the relic rights. Let's see here. Like this one is, let me make sure I'm showing the right thing. So this one is plus 3 strength, plus 2 arcane, and crystal darts are in your possession at the start of an expedition. It's like, all right, well, I'm not main crystal dart. So like, why does it matter? Do I really, I guess I don't really need that, do I? But the other 2 perks are good, you know, plus 2 strength, or plus 3 strength, plus 2 arcane. Like, that is good. Is there much lore and side quests like Elden Ring? Love getting lost in the characters you meet and shit like that. Yes, but there's not, you know, there barely. I'll say barely. There's not a whole lot there, you know. Don't expect this long winding thing. There are these things called remembrances, and they are kind of little sub objectives that you could do with each of the characters, and most of them require you to kind of like go out and do a run, and whether you're successful or not, one of them may be pick this flower because so and so whatever, and if you're out there in the world, you may see that flower and you can like bring it back and finish that little sub objective. Is there anything for me here if I hate multiplayer? No. Unless you buy it for the single player mode and wait for the modding community to come through in the clutch and to really, really help you out. Because I think the game is way too hard. It's way too punishing for somebody who just wants to play solo mode, you know. It is neat that they have solo offline or whatever, but I still don't even really think that that's enough. I'll make this larger. It covers up there. Here we go. Can you talk about the ults for the other characters yet? Yes, the only one that was embargoed was the Revenants, which was very weird. And I didn't fully get that. So, let's see. Which ults don't you know? You all don't know. You all have seen a lot of them. Not everybody knows everything, so I'm just going to go through the other 4 characters anyway. The Revenant character reveal. The Revenant character reveal showed off some things.
No, Nightfarer in Elden.
Oh, this is just someone's fucking Revenant Elden Ring. And I think this is why we were embargoed, because they wanted to be able to show off what it did, what she does. I really enjoyed her playstyle. She seemed like the only one that was viable if you wanted to play solo, because of her summoned little compatriots that that could grab aggro from other enemies. She has 3 different dudes that she summons, but only one at a time, which I thought was kind of odd. But also enemies that she kills also come back immediately as little spirits that fight for you for a small time, you know. And her ultimate is that she auto-reses anybody who's down. But the skill also said auto-reses people that are down and makes you and your party invincible or something. I didn't fucking experience that. I don't know if maybe I was getting hit and was being left with like 1 HP. But yeah, it was, I don't know. It still felt like I was still getting hit when after I ulted. Because you ult, you bring your squad back, and then you have this little glowy thing on you. And the glowy thing made me think, oh shit, I'm untouchable right now. But you were very much touchable. And so like, you and all your homies, I think after you get rezzed, have this little white glow on you. And to me, I was like, oh, that probably means that we're all invincible. And no, you're not. Also, it has a smaller range than you would think, the ult. We had a really tough one the other night where me and Mike were playing, and I had an ult, and I was like, oh, Mike just went down. We're fighting a boss right now. Let me pop the ult. And I was too far away, apparently. And I was like, damn, I'm not that far away. We're in a boss arena right now, and you consider that too far away. That sucks. I was pretty bummed out about that. But yeah, she seemed like the only character that I ever had much luck with playing solo offline. Because you could play solo offline with no, it's just you, right? Solo. You could play solo online where it's just you queuing in solo. Or you could queue and look for party members. Looks like when Galadriel goes Super Saiyan. Oh yeah, I could see that. So yeah, the Revenant ult. The Revenant goes invisible. Or the Revenant reses her homies. Let's see. Well, we saw it in the other trailer. We saw it in the other trailer of we saw freaking big werewolf dude that the Executor turns into. That's the Executor's ult. The Executor can die in this form. You can get knocked out in this form. I thought maybe you were just invincible and just pumping out damage for as long as you could during the ult, but you can go down. Blessing was knocked out of it a couple times. And it was kind of a bummer. Also, as I was queuing up for multiple bosses, I made the mistake of not seeing what bosses were weak to what. And so I saw we were queuing up for the dragon boss, but I'd never seen it before. And I was like, damn. And we went to that special legendary volcanic spot where you could upgrade one of your weapons to a legendary weapon. And I had a weapon with Hoarfrost Stomp. Here, Ice Dragon just spitting ice everywhere. I was like, ah, fuck, I picked the wrong weapon. And then we got destroyed immediately, so it's not like it even mattered. That's one of the bigger problems is you can kind of just get destroyed fast. It can be kind of annoying sometimes. What's up, Andy? Excited for this game, but it has to wait. I just started Act 3. Oh, man. You're so close to the rest of greatness. You're so close. Is it worth getting on console if the lack of crossplay? I mean, that's a question you have to ask yourself. I don't know. I'd say the lack of crossplay probably means that Xbox suffers the most. Maybe. We were on the verge of greatness. All right, so we covered 2 of the ults. We covered the Revenant ult. Resurrects Squad. Executor turns to big wolf guy. Parentheses, can die. The Raider, big block. It's just a big old block that the Raider summons. And we got Iron Eye, big arrow. The Revenant's passives are, yes, summoning your spirit ashes. Just random, yeah, your random homies that anything you kill become, they fight for you now. And it's pretty rad. I think it's pretty awesome. I think that ability is pretty damn cool. It's really useful. Make this yellow. Andy, you jump scared me on today's Games House when you said this game was playable today. I got so excited for a second. Yeah, I had it mixed up. I mean, it's playable for me. What if I just went live right now in offline mode? Oh, man, can you imagine, dude? Greg Miller, I know you're watching. Block does buff you. Yes, the block buffs your damage. Chief Chaos, 13 months of support. Thank you, Chief Chaos, 13 months. Appreciate everybody subscribing, supporting. Tom Chalky's question is, how are we doing, gamers? Gamers, how are we doing? Let us know. Yeah, those are the 4 ults for the 4 characters that have not we're not in the demo, or we're not in the little alpha. The big block for the Raider, I'd say it is really useful. When it works as intended, but there are too many times where it doesn't work as intended, and it stinks when it doesn't work. And I'll explain what I mean. The ult is really good for hitting a big thing of damage, hitting a big, you know, you get a big splash damage on a lot of enemies around you. A lot of times when there was just one dude on the, when there would be like 3 or 4 enemies around me, I'd run up, summons a big thing out of the ground. The problem with it though, when it worked as intended, it rocked, because sometimes I would start to summon it if I had a friend on the ground that was dead. And if I had a friend on the ground that was dead, boom! Block comes up. You stay on top of the block with your dead friend. Your friend may not be dead anymore because it was enough to res him. Or if they had too much of a res bar where there were like 3 chunks, 3/3 filled, that would get them down to like 1, and then you'd be up there on the block, bam, hack away at them. You're safe from the people down there. Perfect scenario. But it didn't always keep you on the block. And it sucked. Because sometimes you would just like, you would summon the block and then you would kind of like fall through it. And it was like a 50-50 chance. It sucked. It was really annoying. It was a pretty big bummer whenever that wouldn't work. Because there would be times where I'm like, oh, I'm going to res Mike right now. I would res him, boo, and it wouldn't do his full health, and I would fall to the bottom. And then I had to climb and very clumsily maneuver my way back up with the double jump, because the double jump, not great. And I'll have to double jump back up there. And by that point, his health had already started to go back up. And it's just like, ugh. When it works, it's awesome. When it doesn't, it stinks. It's got to be a desync or netcode thing. It has to be. The game gets, holy shit, there's a couple boss fights where the game fucking chugs. Bad, dude. Let's see if we see during this goddamn boss. There's no way that they were able, this has to be fake doctored footage. Because this shit, when the purple lightning starts going off, holy cow. It was real. Like, it would, your computer would drop frames badly. I'm not talking, oh, Andy, you're being a baby about this. It's not that bad. You know, you're so used to all the high-powered shit. No, man. It was like everybody on the Discord call going, whoa, what the fuck is happening right now? You know, like thinking that our game was crashing or something, or that the servers were being taken offline. But every time this dude did his big purple damage and flying all over the place, it's essentially like the second phase. Yeah, it would get really rough. Popping in the like. Wait, pop in the like and chat for the algorithm. Love you, Andy. Going back to it. Later, Noah Perkins. Thank you for clicking like on the YouTube video. Have you clicked like on the YouTube video yet? I'm looking at you. You piece of shit. God damn it. You better click the like button, I swear. Who else got questions? What's her starter weapon? Are you talking about the Revenant? The Revenant has a very weird starter weapon. And I'm so scared to even try to attempt to draw on this thing again, because it likely will crash, but I'm going to try it again. Why not? We've been crashing all damn day. I'm crashing out right now. She had like 3 daggers. And whenever you attacked, it would be like 3 swipes, like almost 3 Wolverine claws. It's a weapon that doesn't exist in the game, in the main game. It's like a brand new weapon that they made for this. Because I don't remember seeing it ever in the normal game. Maybe it is, but I'm pretty sure I've never seen it before. And then the weapon art on that weapon is she does this thing called a lure, and she kind of puts like a little white smoke. She kind of summons a little white smoke, and then that kind of takes aggro from some enemies. It was hard to kind of use in practice because I didn't feel like it was always working. But yeah, her weapon is something I had not seen in the game in normal Elden Ring yet. Now, if I clear that, okay, that worked. We haven't crashed yet. Yeah, it's definitely a weird movement for sure, Creed. And then when you dual wield it, you can two-hand it, and then she does like swipe, like, and you see the 3 claw swipe thing, kind of like shun tung, and then when you hold your heavy with the dual wield, she does like an uppercut thing with both of them, and they both go up. But she starts off with that in her right hand and a finger seal. The seal, I barely know him. She has a finger seal in her left hand with rejection and I think heal as the 2 moves. And the interesting thing there was, and it was probably in the main Elden Ring, but I never realized it because I'm not a magic dude, but like tap in L1 to do the one move and then hold in L1 to do the other move. Does that exist in Elden Ring? Probably. I never really used that shit. Have you seen any other weapons or... Well, I guess it doesn't exist because finger seals only ever have one move, right? You cycle through the spells. Yeah, because you're not cycling through spells here. Okay, that makes a lot more sense to me now. It just kind of hit me. Loot a whole lot, which you don't really have time to loot a whole lot. What were some of the coolest relics you found? Well, some of them are interesting because some of them aren't found. Some of them are earned through the remembrance missions. And the remembrance missions are... You open up your menu. If you're at the round table hold, you hit the select button. And you have like every location in the round table hold that you can fast travel to. And if you fast travel to the journal area, every character has their own journal that's like page 1. And here's lore about this character. And then you can begin remembrance or begin memory. I forget what it's called. And when you begin that, it'll kind of set you forth on a little character side quest. And from there, you can... The mission might require you to go out into the world. And after you do a couple things, you get back and they're like, oh, here's this new item. And it's not a gem that you slot into your relic rights slots, but it's an item like... The pocket watch is an item that you get for the Duchess. And the old pocket watch has like lore on it. But the relic effect is it's +3 dexterity and she restores FP upon successive attacks. And so the best ones have the 3 slots. The best ones are the ones that are going to have 3 of them. Those rock. Those are really cool. Man, I should... Hold on. Let me turn off display. Because I'm going to open the game. Just so I could look at shit in the background. Did you ever get to the Shifting Lands where it drops a whole city in the map? They showed it in the launch trailer. I did not. No. And when I saw that in the trailer, in the beginning of this VOD, if you check out on YouTube, the beginning of the VOD, I was like, I never saw that, and that's probably a Shifting Lands thing. I only ever experienced the volcanic Shifting Lands, Blessing got to see the ice mountain shifting lands. I might be saying shitty lands. How hard is it to do missions playing with randos? It's a mixed bag. You could have the most goated randoms ever, or you could have people that want to go do their own thing. And I think the difficult part of it is, oh yeah, let me, hold on. Let me read you the Revenant's item, the weapon. They're called Revenant's Cursed Claws. And White Shadow's lore creates a frontward facing white shadow. The aberration lures in foes of human build, drawing their aggression. I should probably just put window capture up. No, let me, hold on. How do I minimize the game? I'm so close to breaking embargo. I'm so dangerous right now. I'm freaking dangerous. I'm so dangerous. Don't tell Greg. Don't tell Bandai Namco. Let me make it a really low resolution. Yeah, nice. I can drag it over here to this monitor. Cool. Sick. Andy about to risk it all? Nah. I basically just want to have this up in the background as I yap. All right, coolest relics. Let me let's look through some of these darn relics, shall we? Let's see. God, I'm still so scared that, like, is it up? No. I'm still so terrified. Let's see. One of the tougher ones you would get would be, hey, you're stronger if you have 3 of these same items in your inventory. I hated those, man. Plus, whatever attack, if you have 3 great axes in your inventory. Like, that's such a weird, specific thing, you know? That happened quite a bit. If you got to the end of a run and didn't kill the Night Lord, how'd you feel? Did you feel like it was a waste of time playing the network test and only got the Night Lord down once, but saw the blast for the hours I played? No, I never felt like it was a waste of time because I still had fun doing it. Like the amount of times that we were like, oh fuck, that shit was close, dude. Come on, start that shit up again, dude. We're going back. Like, you know, like you would feel pumped up. You'd be excited to see what relic rights you would get in hopes to make your character stronger. Now, it didn't always make your character much stronger. There's a good chance that your relic rights were going to be whatever, like, but you know, there's always a chance that they'd be cool. The ones that end up being pretty important are start off a run with your starting armament doing magic damage, or start off a run with your starting weapon doing fire or whatever. That way you could kind of control and upgrade that specific weapon if you want. And that helped out a lot. Listening to the Kind of Funny review, it sounds like the core gameplay contradicts the intended gameplay. No, because the core gameplay is still go kill thing. But the Elden Ring video game is a lot more about exploration, and I think here, if you want to do that, then you're not going to succeed. You know, if they just call this, If this was just like Elden Ring 2 and you were suddenly not being able to explore, then maybe. But I think that I wish more than anything that there was an item that you could find in your run, because you get to the end of a run and where's my freaking VOD? Let me look for where you get to the end of a boss and you kill the boss. I love that the Discord also had no official name for what these are. I guess they're dormant powers. But when you get to the end of a boss, you kill a mini boss or whatever, and depending on the difficulty of the boss, you either have 2 rewards you could choose from or 3. And more than anything, I wish that one of the rewards you could be offered was 2 extra minutes or 5 extra minutes or something, you know? Because you're just like up against the clock so much. And it's crazy that seems like the only way the game can be played if you want to be successful and if you want to win. Because it's all about fighting the most amount of bosses in the shortest amount of time. And because of that, every gameplay is going to look like the most frantic thing ever, you know? If you're walking, you're wasting time. If you're looting from those tiny little barrels, you're wasting time. Because whatever you're going to get from there likely isn't worth what we're going to get from the next mini boss we take down, you know? Yeah, boons is what I think of as well. No, I mean, the mini bosses that you're dropping into, though, Creed, are all pretty laid out clearly. You don't really go in. It's not like Warzone, how before the Warzone match starts, Mike is already looking at the map and going, oh, we can do this and we can do this and we drop here. We'll circle here. That'll be the next sort of rotation. It's not like that. It's you drop, you bring up the map, and the first thing you'll see is all the little POIs on the map, and then you kind of go from there. You look for the nearest church. All right, I could take down 3 camps on the way to that church, or we can go to that church and then take out 2 of those, you know? Yeah, like whenever you drop, you automatically as the gamer go, all right, we're here. We can travel down here to this camp. That gives a blood weapon because it has a little bleed icon. Hopefully we can get some shit there, beat the boss. Immediately, let's go to this camp further south west, and then we go to the church to get the heals or whatever. And then we can push forward and do whatever, you know, like once you land, that's when you kind of see the plan, you know. Yes, I did watch the season finale rehearsal. Oh, like a casual ringless mode? That could be fun. OKC's too goated. From what I saw, Patches is not in this. Is Ziant the moosh of NIGHTREIGN? I was the moosh for any time that we were all playing. I mean, I feel like I was mooshing about 90% of the time, honestly, except when we partied up with Mitchell Saltzman that one time. When we weren't with Mitchell Saltzman, I was mooshing. Made a couple bad calls sometimes. Didn't read the room of do I really have the squad ready to take this on? You know? Co-op, thanks for the raid. How much life do you think the game has after your 25 hours? Well, because I was only able to beat one boss, it has a lot of life. Because I want to beat all the bosses. The problem is it isn't like Melania, where when you die you go, I'm gonna keep on trying. I'm gonna keep on trying to kill this lady. No matter how many hours it takes. Because another run is gonna take 40 minutes, 45 minutes to even get there. And that's always like the... It's like when you lose in the finals and you go, shit, man. We gotta sit with this. We got a whole full off season. We got a full season to work. You know, it's like... It sucks. Thank you, Co-op. How'd you all enjoy it, Nick? How'd you play early? Review code? Yes, review code. We reviewed it today at Kinda Funny Games on YouTube. It's just not Souls to me. It looks mediocre, to be honest. I think once you start fighting the different bosses, then you will get that feeling. It's like if you were trying to play co-op any Souls game and then you sped it up to, you know, 400%. Do I think there will be network issues at launch tomorrow? Yeah, probably. That's a safe bet. No, there will be no Kinda Funny stream of it tomorrow. We both gave it a 9. But we focus on saying this is a 3-player game. The final bosses are epic. Trying to have a better run each time was some of my favorite roguelike runs. Very great game. I agree. Despite all the bitching, I think it's still a very fun video game. But if I'm from software, I go, there's no solo mode. You can't play solo offline. You can't play this game offline. We'll deal with the backlash. Because we're not even going to tune it to be good for that anyway, you know? Got a character you haven't played yet that you want to dive into next? No, not really. Like, I know I'm not a range dude. I know Iron Eye being the favorite makes me go, okay, I'm always probably going to have an Iron Eye on my squad, so I'm okay not having to do that, you know? Oh, yeah, the lack of crossplay is just insane, too. How is damage in solo mode? Similar to base game? Yeah, I would say so. And then if you if a random fucking dog beats your ass as you're trying to fight somebody, then you die and you're like, oh, there goes that, and then you lose a level and it's like, oh, it's so frustrating. Why even play solo? How was the online connection? Elden Ring playing co-op was a mixed bag and would get kicked out. We were pretty solid, except for the times that they were taking, you know, Bandai Namco would like take down the servers, or, you know, there may be a reset, but you can reconnect, which is really nice. That is really cool. But we did have, we had one of our partners that couldn't join back in, and then their game just kept saying servers offline, which they weren't because everybody was still playing. So we don't know what that was about. And then my game, I was kicked from a run, try to get back in, it wouldn't, and then it gave me the same sort of error. We'll see. Wait, you can solo? Oh yeah, you can solo. You can, but you can't. Yeah, this game has solo online mode, which is just your internet connection's on and you don't start the game in offline mode. But it also has solo offline mode. And you can just start a... Basically, at the menu screen, you can say, I want to do a 3-player run or a 1-player run. Heard there's self-res stuff to revive yourself while on solo. By there being self-res stuff, there is one legendary item that you won't ever find. I found it twice in my 25 hours. Mike, yeah. I can't stop thinking still, Mike, about that final fucking run with Will Neff. I can't stop thinking about that run. How much we would have gone off. It would have been insane. Can't you buy them from merchants? No. I never saw an item that was a self-res from a merchant. And I stopped at merchants pretty frequently. I wish the merchant sold purple smithing stones and just made them hella expensive. It sucked that they were just super... They weren't common at all to find. They're a purple item. They're an epic item. Harder to find, but the amount of times that I had a bunch of blue weapons, like, oh, I wish I could upgrade this. By the way, Spurs winning the chip next year. Wemby will win MVP, Depoy, and Finals MVP. Go Spurs, go. Trevor, don't you dare jinx it. Don't you fucking dare jinx it. Did you not go to caves? Yeah, I went to caves and tunnels. Or, ruins, or whatever the fuck they're called. Not having completed Elden Ring, will I miss out if I jump into NIGHTREIGN with a friend or solo? Not having completed Elden Ring, will I miss out if I jump in? Will you miss out? You're missing out by just not beating Elden Ring. You should do yourself a favor. Spurs ain't winning nothing. Tam, get the fuck out of here, Tam. Okay, it's Spurs por vida over here, okay? Lakers says, Andy, I've only played Bloodborne. Should I play this game? I can honestly recommend this game if you're into Souls games and if you have friends to play with. If you got a squad, if you have people that you know that like those are your ride or dies that you play Fortnite with all the time or you play Call of Duty with, I think you'll have a fun fucking time. I really do. Do I wish that they'd let me in the design room and I could fucking just kind of cook a little bit and I could be like, what, you know, what if this, you know, what if, hey, solo mode, we get it, it sucks ass. What if you could res 3 times? What if you could res once during a boss fight? You know what I mean? Like, I could cook. What if some of the items you find add more time to your daytime cycle? That shit would rock, you know? If you're going to implement this storm, what if you found items like when Apex Legends first introduced that one item that keeps you safe from the storm? Maybe it's an item you buy and it lets you be safe from the storm for a longer time. You know, there's a lot of stuff that they can do, and I hope that they do. Yeah, it was such a bummer co-op. I kind of really caught me off guard. The dying when you're playing like just solo alone, and you get killed in one of the night bosses, and then it just takes you back to the lobby. And I'm like, oh fuck, like I wasn't expecting. You know, you're used to your friends like being there, like, oh, come res me. Oh yeah, I'm safer. But it was over. I was like, I don't love the way this feels. One really cool thing, shout out to the Revenant character we were talking about earlier, because the Revenant character, her summoned minions can res her if you're playing multiplayer with your friends. And that shit was cool. To see like your little dude walk up to you and attack you. And also they don't have your summoned spirits don't have to worry about their stamina bar. It really did get to the point though, legitimately, where if you have 3 bars of res that you need to be res by, if you filled in the 3/3, you know, your team is fucked. Your squad is fucked. If you have 2 squad mates that need 3 bars of res, it's like, all right, GG's. We go next. And that's where a Duchess might really come in handy, because a Duchess goes invisible. Did you run into any of the Dark Souls bosses during review, like Nameless King or anyone? I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. I didn't see Nameless King. He's obviously in the trailer. But there were about 4 or 5 surprises where I was legitimately, like, I was in a game with Mike and with a couple of other people being like, whoa, that's fucking sick, dude. Like, legitimate glee, you know? And they looked great. Cool seeing them in an updated, you know, with updated visuals. Did someone say Dutch? I'm so pumped to play more with Mike. That's the thing that sucks, is like Mike and Bless being out of town. That sucks. Because we were going to go hard. We were going to go hard in the yard. Andy, I never got to ask you if Dallas won the trade. I mean, when Anthony Davis got hurt, you kind of knew who won the trade. Andre Petropoulos gifting out a piece of merch over here on YouTube. Get over here to the YouTube side and type in !enter to try to win. So nothing to protect you from the storm, huh? No. And another thing I'll tell you, Isabella, is that you should come over to the Twitch chat, type in !enter if you want a chance to win the merch. There, Andre is gifting away the t-shirt design of the sweater that I'm wearing right now. One thing I will say about the storm, it hits a lot harder than it did in the beta. Maybe I'm tripping, but it felt like it was hitting way more than it did during the network test a couple of months ago. You get chunked quite a bit more. YouTube, you can't. YouTube, you gotta come to the Twitch chat. YouTube, it doesn't work here. You gotta go to Twitch. YouTube, it doesn't work here. Man, I love FromSoft games so much, but I suck so bad at them. Jay Fulcrum, if you put in a lot of time and hard work, you could end up getting some sick ass relic rights. There just didn't seem to be any relic rights that would make you feel like you're breaking the game. I'm not asking to break the game. I would like the feeling that I may or may not be breaking the game, in the same way that you can feel that way in Hades during a run. Or you can feel that way in when I'm playing Witchfire or something like that, you know. There weren't any relic rights that made me feel like, oh shit, dude, this is completely fucking over the, you know, like, they're good little additive things, but they're nothing so far is going to make you feel like the build that you're using is going to cause the devs to rebalance it and somehow. Shout out to Kylo Ken the God won the merch. Click that link. It'll only work for you, Kylo. It knows that you won. It's attached to your Twitch account. And then you select the size. Type in the shipping. Bam. So shout out to Andre who gifted out that merch. Say thank you to Andre. KJJ, 18 months support, says, been a free-to-play cool NRA member for years now. Happy to make it to 18 months premium membership. Stay cool, Andy. Thank you, KJJ. That's awfully kind of you. Is the music good for From Software Standard? Oh, yeah, Punisher. That's one thing we didn't get to. There may definitely be some reused tracks. Maybe I just wasn't recognizing them. But there are some tunes that fucking hit. And I guess in the way that I was disappointed in that the arenas for the final bosses are always just like the same arena with a different color palette. God fucking damn it. It's always like the same arena with a different color palette. And, you know, Bless and I were pretty disappointed by that. But the different songs being used, the song being used for this boss fight in particular, ruled. Like, just, I'll say this, very, very reminiscent of the ancestral spirit. The deer. It's kind of, you know, fucking flying in the air, running on the air. I encountered this boss once. Just the whole team destroyed in about 20 seconds. And I'm like, cool. Sweet. Fucking awesome. Alt F4, you know, like, that'll happen to you sometimes. And again, I don't know if Nick from Co-op 64 played this on PC or not, but for all the motherfuckers in my TikTok comments being like, what are you talking about, dude? Elden Ring runs fucking flawlessly on PC. First off, no. No, it doesn't. Anybody with a brain knows that it doesn't run flawlessly. It may run flawlessly, you're a fucking slow-ass brain. I'm not saying that it drops to 30 frames. I'm saying, you know, this drops to like 40 and 45 here and there, and you're kind of like, oh, a little hitched here and there, you know, no big deal, whatever. But this motherfucking boss made my PC feel like shit was, like I was being fucking hacked and goddamn, what's it called when somebody like sends a bunch of fake traffic to your shit and it just shuts you all down? I felt like that shit was happening to me. Like, it was so bad frame rate wise. DDoSed, yeah. This boss, when it goes into this purple lightning thing, holy cow. Nightmare, performance wise. Nightmare. And again, could all of this be fixed if, with some better technical engineering? Possibly. Could something like DLSS or FSR help the situation at all? So that I'm not having to run at a native 1440p or 1800p. Maybe DLSS can help it make it look sharp, but run at 720p or 1080. You know what I mean? Like, there's things we can do. Why doesn't it have DLSS? I don't fucking get it. Like, what are they doing? It's insane. It makes no sense to me, man. Like if I'm Nvidia or AMD, I'm kicking down the doors and going, "Help us help you. Get off this Havoc engine for fuck's sake." Christ. Armored Core 6 supported 120 hertz, but NIGHTREIGN doesn't. No, NIGHTREIGN doesn't. It is 60 locked. Oh, also, something that sucked. And I don't know if I meant to mention it, but I booted it up on PS5 Pro. If y'all remember, when I streamed it on PS5 Pro. And I forget who was in the chat. I think it was Lucid Dream maybe saying, oh, it's PS5 Pro Enhanced. Like if you go to prefer quality, it still runs 60 like performance mode. And I was like, holy shit, it does. What the hell? That's pretty crazy. And it wasn't that much of a... It didn't really change, I didn't feel. Like, I didn't feel the... It felt like I was dropping a lot of frames. It didn't feel like I was even targeting 60 anymore. On this latest version. I don't know if something changed along the way or something like that. I have no idea, but it was kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer. PS5 Pro apparently was rough for kind of dropped multiple frames of points. Yeah, like... Which, again, is weird because during the big sort of... or during that network test, it wasn't like that. During the network test, I was shocked that it essentially ran the PS5 version. Or it felt like it was running a sharper version looking of frame rate mode. And I'm not sure what changed since then. Smitty Bad Call, 49 months of support. Thank you, Smitty Bad Call. 49 months of support. Appreciate you, Justin. Hope you're doing well, big dog. Using your Prime on me. Did you know that if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime? I'm going to record that new one tonight, chat. Don't you worry. Sully approved. What do you think about Hillstore the Night Lord? I think this is a person, you know, who made a new account 35 minutes ago and trying to spoil everybody in the chat to get them angry. But this is an Elden Ring crowd, and I could tell you that the final boss is Flumendorf, and it wouldn't make a difference to anybody. Nobody knows what that means because it's a new word that nobody's ever seen. So I appreciate the attempt, but you could go back to, you know, jerking off in your pillows in your mom's house. All right, I'm just gonna ban you. Wait, is this shit still on last gen? It is, yeah, it is. You can't spoil games nobody understands. Exactly. They really were trying to be like, what do y'all think about Hillstore? The final fucking Night Lord. I'm spoiling it for you guys, aren't I? You were never loved, okay? And you will never be loved. Yes, I've heard that the final boss is among one of the best bosses that they've ever made. Which is pretty damn exciting. Like, everybody that I was seeing in the Discord was being like, holy shit. That is one of the coolest bosses they've ever made, you know? Any plans to play NIGHTREIGN on content? Yeah, tomorrow, Friday, we're streaming it. And I'm trying to get together a stream where me, Mike, and Blessing And I just got confirmation that will not be happening with me, Mike, and Blessing. But for Friday, it'll be me, Roger, and Barrett. And we may be going against the Giant Bomb crew. Maybe. I'm coordinating right now. I was hoping to delay it until Monday or Tuesday, but they have some availability issues. But yeah, want to do a little race? Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking every mini boss, 1 point. What do you call the big bosses you fight at the end of the night? Like, not the third night, but just like the night 1 and 2. I'll go night... Or how about this? Night 1 boss. 4 points. Night 2. 6 points. And then night 3, final big boss. I don't know. We got to make that real worth it. We got to make it so that the teams don't become like Chris Paul and Wemby at the All-Star game, where they were like, oh, we could just screw off in this part of this skills competition so we could game it. We could make this on like 12 points or 15 or something. Honestly, make it 40. I think maybe 20. I think 20 works. Because, like, the only... Man, chat, I swear to God, dude. Like, the first boss in the game, I've beat 3 times. I've had the first boss in the game down to... Like, if this is their health bar, I've had them down to this amount of health about 3 other times. Got them down, right? Fought it a bunch during the beta. I understand it. The second boss, man, I've had him down to this much health. Even this much health at one point. Holy shit. I thought... at one point, I had Malekith... Man, I like this game a lot. At one point, I had Malekith's Black Blade, and I did my... Whoo, boom! That ability where it does the red, like, you know, fucking... And then your health drains and goes down and down. I had done that move on him, and the health went down from, like, here all the way down to, like, here. And I was like, what? We might have it. We might have it. And then Mike died, and I was like, oh, if it just pushed a little bit further, dude, like, we would have fucking had it. Oh, my God. I've had the second boss down to so little health about, legitimately about 5+ times. 5 times plus. And then one of the other bosses got real low about 2 or 3 times, and the rest of them got rinsed on like the first try. They buffed up the dog since the playtest, and I think so. There is a weird thing that happens also, because me and Blessing had this moment where we're like, oh, they're doing a Mega Man thing here. Because second boss, weak to poison. The third boss, weak to fire. But if you beat them, sometimes you get an item that lets your starting weapon have poison. We're like, oh, it's a Mega Man thing. You beat this dude, then you take that weapon and beat this boss. And the first boss, weak to holy, right? And I felt it. Not only was my Raider pretty fucking, like, my goddamn Raider fucking horns all over the damn place. My Raider had, I think, one of like the Troll's hammer, and it was legendary, and it was a holy hammer. It's the fastest I've ever seen this goddamn dog go down. Like, we destroyed this son of a bitch. I was like, oh, whoa, dude, the weaknesses shit is so important. That's great. And then one of the other bosses weak to fire. We all had fire shit. It's like, this motherfucker's not going down. Like, this isn't working the way we thought it would. Based on how quickly we took down the first guy. It was kind of a bummer. Are all the bosses available from the beginning? No. You beat the first boss to unlock the rest of them. And then you don't get to fight Flumendorf until you beat all the other bosses. We're just gonna call him Flumendorf now. Andy, if I suck at another crap's treasure, will I suck at this game? But in another crap's treasure, you may not have goated teammates. Losing like that is going to be so much more tilting in this game than base Elden Ring, having to play 40 minutes to get back to a boss. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, honestly, I was thinking of... Because there's a road that I passed when I lived in Austin, Texas, and I would drive to the Rio Grande Valley. I would always pass a sign that told me about Elmendorf. And it was kind of near the San Antonio area. And whenever we drove by with friends, we'd always be like, Elmendorf. You know, we always acted like it was a Lord of the Rings town. After I beat all six of them are available. Punisher. Got your shoe. Oh, word, you haven't... Oh, shit, we just got a new subscriber on YouTube. Let's go. Yeah, if you beat one, then the rest of them become available. And also, I'm such an idiot, chat, because like for the rest of them, you can queue up for multiples. I didn't know that because I didn't read. So me and Mike would be there like, come on, man, someone's got to be looking for someone's got to be trying to fight this second boss, dude. What's going on, man? And that was like a whole night. Just like, what's going on, dude? This sucks, bro. We got to wait for somebody to fight that. Fuck this game. And then the next day I was like, oh my God, dude, you could queue for all of them. So then we would queue for the second 7. What sucked about that is that we weren't ever really prepared for who we were going to fight. Because you kind of want to prep your squad to fight with certain abilities. You know, if you're fighting that enemy, you may want to have the lightning stuff, lightning attack up or whatever, and we were never really prepared for that. We don't read, we shoot, exactly. No, I didn't fight the final boss, but I've heard he's goated. I also like, I like doing the joke that like, look, I'm the GOAT gamer. I like doing the jokes like that. I like playing it up. I know I'm not as good as a lot of the content creators that you've watched on these big speedrun tournaments. You know, I'm not goated in that way. But I feel like I'm better than most. I feel like I'm in the upper echelon of like, you know, if this is like the whole community of Souls players, and if this is like Distortion speedrun, and if this is like fucking grandma with her arm chopped off, I'd probably put myself like here-ish, you know? But I just needed to keep on making that clear for the audience, like, hey, just so you know, I'm in the games industry. I'm in games media. I know that you all think that all of us are super shitty at games. And to be honest, sometimes fair. However, I'm not shitty at this game. I'm usually pretty okay at this game, and this game's hard. Like, this game is hard. Distoration, yeah. Grandma armed off, exactly. I'm decent souls. I got my cheeks clapped. Yeah, and I think honestly what it is, co-op, and one thing that I was realizing as I was playing it was you totally have to change your mentality. You still have to play the game like it's a Souls game. And that sounds like the dumbest, most obvious point ever. I was like, yeah, no shit, it's a Souls game. What the fuck do you think? But when you're in a squad with two other people, part of you feels like you want to get into a DPS race. Part of you feels like you're doing a Destiny raid and you're just going to pump as many bullets into the headshots as you possibly can. But you like that mentality of yours, you have to realize like, nah, man, pretend you're in a solo boss fight. Don't swing when you don't have to. Don't even swing when you think it might be safe, because it's probably not, you know, like just, you got to be extremely like diligent with when you're going to dodge, when you're conserving stamina. You still have to play it like you are solo out there, because there are plenty of moments where my squad is doing attacks and I'm like, oh, I want to do the same thing. And I try to just like, then I just started to do a lot of moves like, wait, this isn't how I play Souls games. And then I get my ass whooped and I'm down and it's like, oh, fuck, why did I swing there? Why did you? This isn't Diablo, dude. Why am I playing this like Diablo all of a sudden, you know? I'm in the past. I went back and watched from the beginning on the stream after you had started. But if holding L1 is a second spell in the Talisman Catalyst, how do you charge spells? L2? No. So for me, it was spells 1 and 2 were tapping L1 or holding L1. It was fascinating. You should watch Max's breakdown of tourist casual intermediates. He was talking about players in the fighting games, but it would apply to Souls Likes too. I gotta check that out. Honora Mur, thanks for 43 months of support. Honora, thank you for 43 months. Jericho, 7 months. It's such a bad movie, watch. But I'll tell you what, you watch that shit in 4DX. It's a different experience. You take Carl Jacobs and... what's his fucking friend's name from Mr. Beast? Channing? Chandler. You take Carl Jacobs and Chandler from Mr. Beast to a mall on a holiday where there's a bunch of 12-year-olds running around. It just makes the experience all the better, man. you just see all these kids run up to them. There's one kid like, say hi to my brother, dude, say hi to my brother. Like everybody, like all these kids wanted to do selfies and shit. It reminded me of that one clip of, you ever seen that clip of that like shitty dude Sneeko, where these little white kids are walking up to him and they're like, yo, fucking women are whores, right? Right, Sneeko? And he's like, whoa, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah, dude, that's the audience you're cultivating, you piece of shit. That's what you're doing to these kids. Don't act surprised. Last time I saw a movie in 40X was with Michael, Jurassic World Dominion. He managed to sleep in the shaking chair. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, dude. Yo, Salamazar, thank you for a first-time subscriber. Tier 1 and on Twitch. Thank you, Salamazar. Imagine just a limp dude flopping around in a chair. God, he's... We were playing NIGHTREIGN the other night, and I swear to God he was falling asleep, but he wasn't. It was just like... It was the loud breathing that was like... Like I heard that, like I didn't say anything. I mean, you know, it's 1 in the morning, you know. No, it's not. It's not that deep of a snore. It's just a like where you hear the that sort of tone, you know. This has probably been said before, Andy, but these shirts are so soft. I gotta buy more. You got your merchant. I love that. We should all have a KF password so all the KFBFs can play together. Hell yeah, just KF. Just make it KF as the password. That's what I set mine as. I never told anybody about it, so it's not like it did anything. One really neat thing is when you go out into the roundtable hold, the new areas of the roundtable hold that open up are pretty fascinating and cool. And one of the areas shows you, you know, the blood stains that shows you when somebody dies or whatever. One of the areas shows you these golden kind of glyphs on the ground, and it shows you people that have beaten bosses and what level they were and what their gear was and what character they're using. It's pretty sick. And I'll still say this, the Wilder's so good, but the Wilder's ultimate is so good, therefore the standard L1 or the standard ability has to suck. The grapple, useless. Grapple's just like not good. You rarely have a moment where it's like, oh, that really, really helped. If it was used more like Sekiro's grapple, then maybe I could see that being cooler, but like it just, there's not a whole lot of practicality in it. Snore too much, Lappy. I can't recreate the snore. Waffle on the run, thanks for 14 months of support. We also had, 19 minutes ago, we had a first-time subscriber from Sugar House.
You gotta stay gaming, bruh.
Thank you, Sugar House.
Don't focus on no girl, just stay gaming.
Appreciate you very, very much.
You horny bastards.
It doesn't interrupt enemy animations. For, like, normal mobs, like, there's just not a whole lot of utility to it. You can pull dudes towards you, or you could fly towards larger dudes. But, like, again, you're likely just swiping at those dudes anyway, and you're like, I don't know. I wish it did more damage. If anything, I would buff the damage on it, and maybe have it set to you being able to toggle what like elements you're sending out with it. Like maybe if you grapple somebody, it's like electrified or fire or something like that. It just never really felt like I really cared about having it on my cooldown. I was never stoked to see that it was ready again, you know? Did anyone at KF get invited to the Red Bull LAN party? That shit look like. If you're talking about the Elden Ring thing, no. The Elden Ring thing, I don't think none of us are really popular enough. And it's also either you're insanely good at Souls games, like you're a speedrunner type shit, you do challenge runs, or you're just insanely popular. And, you know, I'm not Distortion. I'm not Parkin Harbor. Is that how you pronounce her name? I just see her, she calls herself Parky. I'm not her boyfriend, Lil Aggie, who shout out to Melissa with a Y, who keeps telling me about these people that I'm learning more about. We're not gamers on that level, and we're not popular on the level of people with like hundreds of thousands of followers, you know? The grapple does a little bit of damage. I really wish that's one upgrade I wanted it to do. I wish the grapple could pull a teammate towards you. It doesn't. That sucked. Did anyone actually see Nameless King? I missed a lot. I'm sure somebody saw Nameless King. I did not. I'm sure somebody out there in the review was able to see Nameless King. I did not get to see Nameless King. The random map changes, not as drastic as you may think, unless you're dealing with those shifting lands sort of events. I'm just looking to see when I bring up a map on my playthrough. I saw that map. Where'd it go? Where'd you go, sucker? Where'd you go, sucker poker? Oh, right here. Oh, God fucking Christ. Ain't that the event that Sin and Valkyrie got invited to out in Paris? Oh, if you're talking about the Red Bull, no, that was like a separate one. The Red Bull one, I think, was just a bunch of different influencers doing a race or whatever. Like the volcano part is all like here, and there's a church here, and then there's some pretty nasty enemies you could fight. One of them was like a one of the big gargoyles. Another one was the falling star beast. What's the best raspa flavor, dude? Oh, that's a good question. I like tiger's blood quite a bit. That shit kind of rocks. Tiger's blood is pretty good. But I also like the super unhealthy ones where you put like pickle and trechas and salimon and all sorts of crazy shit. Diablitos for me. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm talking about. Johnny Plays Games, thanks for the follow. Canadian Berto, 44 months of support. Thank you, Canadian Berto. Appreciate you. Aggie's team double Iron Eye with the Duchess was so busted. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, that's a comp I hadn't considered. But yeah, if you're doing that much damage and you're doubling it with Duchess, that's pretty nasty. I think that comp works for gamers like them. I don't know if that comp works for gamers like us, you know? Andy, I loved your playthrough with Resident Evil 5 with Ray. Oh, hell yeah, Johnny. Thank you so much. What about Resident Evil 6? Because that's the one. Oh, shit, it's still here. The Resident Evil 6 one is the one. Does Iron Eye's loot quality passive stack? I don't know. Also, Tam's here. Tamor Hussein from Software Legend. The person who I went to when I was going to stream my first From Software game in the year 2019. And I said, Tam, what should be my first game that I play through? What should be the first FromSoft game? And he said Bloodborne. And I've lived a different life ever since. From Software. This is my plea to you all. Can we be transparent about what these numbers are? Can you tell me what greatly increases attack means, numbers-wise? Because sometimes you say strength +3, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of visualize what that is. But then sometimes you say massively increases blah, blah, blah. What are the, tell me the numbers. Because I won't select it if it's 0.8%. Because fuck me, why would I do that? What a waste. Tell me what the numbers mean. I'm literally waiting to do, I'm begging to do mathematics for once in my life. When we all had to learn the weight system of fat roll, medium roll, fast roll, we learned, oh shit, 70% of that weight. Oh, we're doing math. But like, what do these fucking numbers mean, man? Because it's very likely that when they say, oh, this greatly increases this chance, and greatly to them could mean 2.7%. And I go, well, fuck that. I'm not going to waste a relic right stone on that. I'm gonna go with something else, you know? Tell me what it means. What do they mean, you know? No one knows what they mean, but they're provocative. Greatly increase these nuts, know what I'm saying? Exactly, dude. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Damn, man. The amount of times I'd be sitting there being like, I mean, this says that it increases it. I don't know how. I don't know what sort of numbers we're looking at, but it's provocative. Anytime they say massive increase, it should always be like 15 or 20%. I agree. Or they could just give us the number. They could just say the number. But you won't ever really know unless you're in the lab testing out this swing does 1700 damage and this swing does 2800 damage. And you go, oh, that's this, you know, like. I want the Papyrus SNL sketch, but it's Andy asking me, is like, oh, I still gotta post that other breakout of me begging for no more ulcerated tree spirits. I still gotta post that one on TikTok. They should play in a Wooga when you get a powerful weapon at least. My character should do some sort of emote. Like I should do the gritty if I get like a sick ass weapon or something, man. Let me please. I don't think most buffs get much higher than 15%, and most of the time it doesn't start to get noticeable until you start stacking multiple damage buffs. Yeah, and that's why, and that's the stuff that, unless you are a FromSoft diehard, you don't really have that passive knowledge. So, if I tell you, hey, this item, oh, that's another one. Another one of the random passive skills that I loved, that I think I loved, I don't know, was one of them that said, whenever you get runes, you get more for yourself and your allies. And I had that twice, and that shit stacks. And I think I was doing better, but then we got to the end of the run, I was like, I'm still level 12. I would have thought I'd be 14 or 15. Like that's we didn't die once. We killed everything we were trying to kill, and I'm still 12. Huh. I really thought it'd be more than that with both of those passives. Damn. Game would be a 10 out of 10 if I could dab on Nameless King. That's what the fuck I'm saying, dude. There's some pretty cool things in the game where you see off in the distance. Oh, hold on. Let me check the embargo. Let me check the embargo real quick, if you don't mind. I'm gonna check out the embargo. All right, lit. I'm clear. Off in the distance, you would see, honestly, kind of like a not great looking 3D model. It was supposed to be like a cloud, but it kind of just looked like a turd, like upside down. But I hope they can maybe like flesh out some of the visuals there. But you would see one out in the distance, and you would go to it, and suddenly you are fighting against the corpses of other fallen Nightfarers. And so it's like having a hunter battle in Bloodborne. Imagine the goddamn hunter that's in front of freaking Vicar Amelia's place, like that guy at the end. That dude who just sucks ass, like the most amount of ass. What's his name? He's one of the vampire dudes, right? He's like the Bloody Crow. Imagine like encountering 3 of those dudes. But when one of them has an iron eye, you're fucked. You're so fucked if one of them has an iron eye. It's so bad. Like you just get auto targeted by another strong ass like computer character that's controlling an iron eye. It's so rough, man. Dude, the pestilence that steals levels, that happened to me on a run where I was with randos. I was so tilted. We were having such a good run, and wherever you would run, a cloud would appear on you and you'd have to run out of the way of it. And it never ended. I didn't know how to turn it off, but it would just suck up a level. You're like, what is happening right now? Goddamn Margit popping up out of nowhere. Ugh. Cosmetics. I didn't get to see a whole lot of cosmetics in the game, to be real with you. I saw one person dressed as using the Iron Eye, I think Dark Souls skin. What's his face? That one Dark Souls 3 skin. And then I saw somebody playing the Revenant, but she was in all black. Remember when the game was like, hey, have a mini boss and an invasion with a bunch of strong? That was crazy. That was a crazy one, Tam. We were fighting a mini boss and then some other event happened like right on us. Oh, dude, it was the dogs and the crow from Caelid. We're fighting a mini boss and then suddenly these big ass like purple, like sort of phantom looking versions of the dogs and the big ass crow from Caelid. The big ass dogs, those look like T-Rexes, you know? They're all just like kind of coming. We're like, what the fuck is happening right now? It was crazy, dude. That was wild. I got to play a little bit of the Executor. I don't think the Executor is super viable because it just didn't feel like you were doing enough for your squad. Like maybe you go Executor if you're the most goated gamer ever and you know you're going to be parrying everything 100%, because other than that, you're not doing a whole lot for your squad. And then when you go into dinosaur mode, or not dinosaur mode, when you go into werewolf mode, you can get killed in werewolf mode, which I thought was really odd. I thought that was super surprising. OKC up 34 with 5 minutes left. Yeesh. So my top five would be honestly probably Raider #1. The worst backdrop to be drawing this against. I would go Duchess, and then maybe Wilder and Revenant tied. Wilder's ult is so great, but the grapple just kind of not useful. Yeah, maybe that's it. I'm super pumped that Mike started enjoying the Recluse. Once he got the hang of her, after a couple of runs, he was just like, he got like he's like, oh shit, we're fucking playing now. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Because for a while there, he was only going Guardian, the big Eagle guy. Eagle, an amazing ult, right? You've seen Eagly. with his big ass shield. He goes up into the sky, right? And he comes back down. And if an enemy is on the ground, or if your squad is on the ground and they're hurt or they're dead, that's like a quick res. You could just go up in the sky, boom, land on them for a quick res. You can land on an enemy. Or if your squad mate is smart, they will crawl near an enemy. That way you can kind of get two, bang for your buck. Kill two birds with one stone. Kill one enemy and res a teammate with one stone. But the coolest thing is, when you come back down, you can hold the trigger button, because it's Y right trigger, right? Y right 2. Y R2 rather. And if you keep holding R2, you sort of like, you stay on the ground. And your homies that are in this aura, you're aura farming essentially. And if your homies are in this little, like, ground area, you're invincible. Can't be hurt. It was crazy. Enemies were like hitting me, nothing to my health bar. Wild. So you can stay in that pose for a good while. I mean, a good while, maybe like 4 or 5 seconds or something. Nothing crazy, but enough to feel like, oh shit, that's awesome. What are the odds that you think they'll actually balance solo play better? I think that they will. I do think they will. If you die as a world, if you die in real life, exactly, Shotcha. You can use the same character as someone else? Oh yeah, you can have duplicates. Yeah, at one point we Tam was running Iron Knight quite a bit, and then Mike would run, at the time, Guardian, because he hadn't really fallen in love with the Recluse yet. But there were a couple times where we had like 2 people as Iron Knight. Did you see the NIGHTREIGN AMV? Yes, dude, it's amazing. All because of Revenant's ult. Which makes me laugh, Tam, because I'm like, oh, is that why they told us we couldn't say what her ult was in the embargo? Is that why that was one of the things we couldn't talk about? Wake me up inside. Also perfectly timed with, the rehearsal. Propulsion, 7 months of support. Thank you, Propulsion, for your 7 months of Prime Gaming subscription.
It's time to play the game.
Thank you so much for the love. Well, kind of funny, be playing it tomorrow. It's out 3 p.m. Pacific, right? On PC at least. No, we will not be. Friday we will be, though. Tomorrow night, I'll be streaming it here. And then Friday, I'll be streaming it as well. Saturday, though, is the end of my streaming streak. Saturday the 31st. We've streamed every day in May. And if I don't die before then, we will have completed the streak. And that day will be a big ol' Elden Ring day on Twitch and YouTube. Then he never streamed again. I'll be retiring, yeah. Survive. I'm gonna check something really quick. Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity. Then retiring from, yeah, retiring from it all. Okay, just wanted to verify that. Chat, I'm gonna call it there. Thanks for watching and hanging out today. Appreciate you. If you have any other comments that I can answer in the comments down below, let me know. I'd be glad to. Questions about classes or, you know, different perk upgrades, world changes, bosses, let me know. I'll do my best to answer for you in the comments down below. Make sure you click the like button. It helps out a lot with videos like this for the algorithm. And that's going to do it for me. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we'll see you in another VOD, gamers. Bye-bye. And that's going to do it for me here. Twitch. Appreciate you. Propulsion. Salamazar. Canadian Berto.